Hello, Dr. Garimela. My name is Vinay Murthy, and this is the video for the first assignment of data mining. Now I'll be shifting over to the screen. So I've chosen the bike bias dataset, which is a dataset used to predict whether a person is going to buy a bike or no, based on different features like marital status, gender, income, children, commute distance, the number of cars, age, and homeowners. Most of them are categorical data like marital status have changed in dummy variables, and also like commute distance like 0 to 1 mile has been changed to 1, 2, and 3 and 4, and so on. The best part about using Azure ML Studio is it provides descriptive statistics when we are looking at the dataset itself. Say for example, if I choose income as my feature here, it provides the median salary income, which is a good judge for incomes, and provides the minimum value, the maximum value, and the missing values also. And in the visualization set here, we can even select like gender, which is a categorical variable against income, and find out for male and female what are the different income rates, and find correlation between two variables, which would help us further understand the correlation and to make basic assumptions for our data model. I have chosen columns here. I've chosen all the numeric columns, and I have left out all the categoricals which were not necessary. Next, what I've done is I've used the summarized data. So what this is, this also provides a basic statistics, but a little bit more like sample skewness, sample kurtosis, then quartiles, first quartile, third quartile, where the values lie, what values lie in first or third quartile, and understand the skewness related to values. Here we can see clearly that income, being a continuous variable, is pretty high compared to other values in other variables. So what we can do is we can scale the data such that the income can be within the range itself. So I've used normalized data from data transformations, and I've used natural logarithmic function. I've used only the column of income here. So after normalizing the data, I've again summarized to visualize again to understand whether the chosen column has been normalized. Income, as we can see, has been normalized to a much more scaled, to a much more closer value to other features here. And again, this also provides statistics within the statistics, like a basic statistic of sample skewness, and again it can be visualized with different statistical functions here. That's very handy. The summarize is found in statistical functions, where it has other functions as well, which is much more helpful. And again, PCA anomaly detection is also used to find out hidden features. It's again a useful function, very user-friendly tool. So right after this, what I've done is I've split the data into test and train. That is 80% of my data I'll be using for training the model, and the other 20% I'll be using to test the model. This we use to find out that whether we are the model which we use is actually getting overfitted or no. The model which I'm using is 2-class decision forest, and I've trained the model here with the 80% set, and I'm going to visualize the trained model here. I'm just going to pause the video till it loads. So the algorithm has loaded and have specified 8 different decision trees. So it's provided me 8 different decision trees, and this is the node where the actual node where the main split happens. That is the commute distance. It feels like one of the major nodes for which upon which further splitting has occurred. The one way to look at this is we use ID3 algorithm for decision tree for finding out which nodes, from which node do we split other nodes. That would be to find out entropies and information gain. The least entropy for a particular node will be chosen first, giving hierarchy to the other ones. That is the most information gain. So let's see the predicted trained model. So if a particular person has not bought the bike, what is the reason for it? That is, the commuting distance is 5 to 10 miles, has one car, is not married, has 3 children, and income is pretty low. So the prediction says no, the person will not be buying. Makes sense because the income is pretty low here and has 3 children and has already one car and wouldn't be going for further investment. Same thing if we look at in a case a person does buy a bike, what would be that thing? Would be children is less than 0 or 0. They have 3 cars, and income rate is pretty high here, as we can see. So in this we can see that income has a huge influence on the prediction, and children also, then the commuting distance and the number of cars they own. So this would be our trained model, and I have tested the model on the other 20% of our data set, and I will be visualizing the same. So the model is trained on the purchase bike numeric, that is our the value which we want to predict. And also have selected columns, and then I'm going to score the model. The scoring happens. This is the result for the scoring of the model, and the main 2 columns which we have to focus on is scored labels and scored probabilities. Scored labels is the predicted value compared to the actual whether a person bought a bike or no. This is the scored label, and this is the probability of the scored label. Say for example, if the person actually bought a bike and our model did predict what is the percentage of what is the probability that it will predict the same, that is 100% probability, and here it's 12%, 25% probability. This is the wrong prediction, and so on. And this also provides like basic statistics and to understand the relationships as well. And when we can find the frequency scored label logs and frequency log scale as well to understand further. Then finally, the evaluation of our decision tree is, this is the ROC curve, which provides true positive versus false positive rates. We can see the curve is it's a pretty fine curve. It's mostly tilting. It's not tilting too much towards false positive. That's a good thing. And here we can see the accuracy of our model is 62.5%. That's dependent on the true positive and false negative rates. Like if a person is buying a bike, what is the rate that our model has predicted that they will buy a bike? That is 65, and falsely said that they will not be buying bike would be 47. The ratio between these both will give us the misclassification rate. The same way, same goes for false positive and true negatives as well. And the threshold value is the 0.5. That is, if we say probability of a person buying would be more than 0.5 would be classified as 1, lesser than 0.5 would be classified as 0. And these are different bins and different accuracies for the same. Say for 0 to 0.1, whatever data points lie there, and the classifications, prediction in classifications, and the accuracy for those predictions is 56. This is the basic modeling in Azure ML Studio. It's a very handy tool and has a lot of options to do a lot of data mining operations. This is it for the first video. Thank you for listening.